Oh. I
They're on.
prefer to make a copy of this, which was your wonderful
And
thing.
that's just, we need to get a system.
Yeah,
or
We do.
something.
Yeah.
That wasn't a shot.
Got that roof on just in
No.
time.
Oh,
no,
no, I probably need gutters. But this is, I went down there earlier, and it's just got a little bit of water in the basement, it's mainly because that one side where the addition was.
Ain't so bad.
No, they cut a pocket door in to get to the other side, so they took, instead of just putting one door, they cut the pocket, and well, it's 3 layers of brick, so it's kind of coming in the side, where it was like, right where the chimney was, so it's like ran down, so now it's really bad. The bricklayer looked at that and goes, oh, they could have made that so much easier just by putting it on.
As well as live streaming, or streaming to
YouTube.
YouTube, we're also back to live streaming also. So that's all back up.
okay.
Man.
Well, we'll give it one more minute and then we'll head out, start out.
They have it on YouTube to where you can go back and watch,
Yeah, gee,
but they're also live streaming.
I didn't know.
we could do a lot better.
I guess
We
Charter
could
has it
have
live
a little
streaming.
entertaining.
So it's showing.
I like entertaining YouTube. At least you don't have to, I mean, you're already here. But thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
We're recording, so we're ready whenever you are.
Okay, well, we'll call to order the Washington Historic Preservation Commission meeting for Tuesday, February 20th. If you take the roll call, please.
Carolyn Witt,
Present.
Steve Struberg,
Here.
Brian Bogue,
Here.
Rick Hop, Danielle Grotwheel, Jamie Holtmeyer, Andrew Clary, Bridget Kelch, Joe Holtmeyer.
Here.
Mark Hydrich,
Oh, he's gonna be late, but he's gonna be here.
Susan Gordon,
Here.
Al Maniaci,
Here.
John McCreary.
Will you please rise for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, did everybody peruse the minutes? Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Is there a 2nd?
I'll second.
Motion to approve the minutes for the last meeting. All those opposed? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And there's the picture. We have 312 Cedar Street, certificate of review for garage, deck, and porch. Jamie sent out all of this to us. Okay.
It's the same set that I gave all the groups there.
Right.
Yeah, so the proposal is, if you remember, they got a demolition permit a few months back to take down this addition that was added to the house. They're proposing to redo the deck, and I think as of now, the original one was to extend it the length of the house, but I believe now is just to replace the existing. Hey, you can
Correct.
come on up.
Yeah.
And then there's also gonna be a garage that, and it accesses the alley, correct, the garage will?
I was gonna do a drive off the road and then have a door in the front and the back of the
Oh, okay.
garage, so it could be dual access. If somebody was in the driveway, you could get to the garage from the back.
Where does the garage sit in relationship to like the house? Is it up front in line with the house towards the back?
It's about 15 feet behind the back of the house, so it lines up with my garage
Okay.
next to it, so they're parallel, and it's the exact same size as my garage.
Okay.
What we proposed. And then we are not extending the porch down the whole front, so at this juncture, we could leave the existing there. There is some safety concerns I have with the railing that's up there being historic. It is extremely low for not being to code, and I think the insurance guy had a little bit of concern about that too, because people do want to sit on that. So we were looking at, so I gave you a picture of the other proposed railing with the vinyl decking on there that would meet code, but wouldn't be the historic. So those are my options there as far as
So you're gonna leave,
taking a recommendation from you guys, what you think should be
you're gonna
done.
leave the porch the same size?
The porch is staying the same size, the decking just needs to be replaced. There's some, little bit of structural stuff that needs to be looked at there, because it is brick pillars that we need to look and see what's all damaged there. Yeah, and then replace the roof on that one as well.
Are you doing anything with that large picture window there, or?
So, we were going to go back to the original windows,
Two openings there?
the two openings, and clear that back out and put the double hung windows back in
Okay, good,
to
good.
match, yeah. And there is a glass block, and I don't know if you can see it, in between the two doors on the front porch, there is
Oh, yeah.
glass block that was probably put in the 50s, I would say.
Right.
Yeah,
So we're going back to original window on that as well,
good.
so if anything, it'll look more original than what it does today.
Right. Well, that's good. That's
Yes.
good.
And Steve, you do great work on garages. The one off of Third Street at Locust, it's really nice. So you're in good hands.
Okay.
That's. Do you have anything you want to bring up on?
No, I think that,
It
there was a
it
little,
generic. It wasn't aimed at you. It
Yeah.
was,
No, Musers is doing a survey on it now, so then I'll have it plotted, but he's doing my lot as well, because I think there was an issue whether my garage actually sits on my lot right now.
right.
So we're doing both lots at the same time, so we'll get that figured
It's
out.
always fun.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
It's good that he owns both properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's just got to fight with himself.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not going to sue
You
anybody.
can change them lot lines around.
Yeah, right.
I think we had to do that with the Holtz property, I believe, as well. The same thing happened with
Yeah.
the Holtz property. We found out that it wasn't completely on there. Luckily, the same situation there, so we just moved the property line, but.
No, I think that helps. There was a little confusion as to where the garage was gonna be located, and then we saw the drawing with the full-length porch, but there was a comment about it was gonna match the existing, and we just didn't know, so.
After the plans were submitted is when we discussed changing, leaving it the way it is.
Okay.
Putting the regular windows back into the archway.
Okay.
And then after we sent this out at site plan last Thursday, there was at our site plan meeting, there was a site plan submitted showing where the garage was going, proposed, and it does meet all the setbacks. It matches, like you said, the adjacent, and it's also 5 feet from the edge of the alley, which our code allows, so.
The deck, I've never been around back. Is there a deck on the back already, or?
There was.
there was a, 18 and a half by 4 foot, it would
Oh.
completely rotted off the back of the house, so there was no saving when we removed the lower piers, it just fell down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we're just replacing that with the 10 by 18 and a half in the old area, just a little longer.
And getting back to the garage, the reason you had a question on the email saying about the height of the garage, trying to cover everything, in case somebody comes to town with a RV or something, they want to park it in the garage, at least they have a tall enough garage door to park it.
Yeah, my biggest concern with that was not knowing where it was, and if it was gonna be up close to the street, it was just gonna seem out of scale with some of the other, carriage houses and stuff,
Yeah.
so. But now that, like, and I think I said in my email, if it's further back, you won't even see, like, you don't even
No.
see your garage hardly where you're.
No, and my foundation sits about 2 feet out of the ground, that foundation sits about 4 feet, so the difference of the 2 feet is, in perspective, is not gonna matter at all, because, yeah, so.
I'm glad to see you're doing something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got nothing but good comments from all the neighbors, so as far as, because, you said that 12-foot garage, but they had a 16-foot fence around the whole property before, so.
Yeah,
So,
right.
the neighbor sees daylight now, he never know what to
That's
do
right.
before, so.
Good point, good
Yeah.
point.
No, are there any other comments, or, did you get pictures? You saw?
I did.
Excellent. Well, could we have a motion for a certificate of review?
I'll motion we issue a certificate of review.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank
We'll
you
s-
very much.
We'll send out an email to the commission, kind of,
Yeah,
date.
we-
Email that they get the minutes, but actually just in the email, so that way they know what.
because
get our
we have done
comments,
that in the past. If we're in between meetings, we can, we can approve it by email. So if we just get one more body, then it's absolutely legal.
We're trying to work through things. Sometimes, we're glad you guys are here, because sometimes we don't get anybody. and then we have these questions, and we're left with no answers
Nobody
whatsoever,
Right.
and
No, good.
you feel like you're here for no reason.
And we do appreciate it,
Yeah.
because it's not, our mandatory review, voluntary compliance is, we're not telling you you can't do something, but at the same time, if we have a suggestion, which you preempted our suggestions by most of the things you've brought up, so it's
Good.
good.
That's good.
Good. Okay, 513 West Fifth Street.
This is the corner of Fifth and Stafford. I believe this used to be a filling station, correct? Little gas station, right?
And then it was ambulance
Oh, okay.
for a while.
Yeah.
A Sinclair station.
Well, that's
Yeah,
before my time, but I remember the ambulances.
Yep. So they are requesting just a sign permit for the law office of Mark Reuter. It's actually two. There's going to be one on the existing pole there hanging. It's an existing pole that's already out of the site triangle and everything. That's why we actually didn't request a separate site plan, because it was there. And then they show the wall sign. They get 5%, which I have on the application, and they're well below that. I don't have the numbers, I don't think scanned down in here, but that's all right. So, but yeah, it did meet the minimum requirements of the code, and I think it fits in generally to the guidelines of the district. It's not gonna be backlit, they don't have any, oh, here we go. Perfect, thank you. Here we go. So with the building face area, they get a max 45 square feet, and they're only asking for 28. So they're, well below there, so.
Sal, is the sign that's out on the pole, is that lit at all at night, or, I can't remember what that was.
It is a
I
good
didn't
question. They did not put it,
It's not the.
no, it's not, and they did not mark yes on electric.
Okay.
So, yeah, not proposing any new electrical hookup.
I wonder if they're going to use the upstairs. No, there's a apartment.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Actually, I was surprised when I heard that there was an apartment up there. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they haven't requested an occupancy inspection on
Not
that.
yet, they're
No.
gonna be doing remodeling on the inside, so he said they weren't ready to submit that stuff yet.
Okay.
Just wanted to get the outside going.
Yeah, they've been working. I'm thrilled that because it's a cool building, and I'd hate to have it.
Oh, it looks a lot better
And-
already. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's no room on that lot, really, to do anything else. I
Yeah,
mean,
the way it's situated on there, it's,
and a-
sits diagonal from the
and a law office
intersection.
would not require much parking, I would think.
No, nope,
Is that the lawyer used to be at Fifth and Du Bois?
I don't know.
He's down here on Jefferson.
So I've never heard of him.
I think he used to be in with Stallbooth, and I noticed Stallbooth is
Oh,
by
yeah.
himself now.
Or, well, he was with that Stallbooth guy for a
Yeah.
while.
Ah,
Stallbooth
Yeah.
and Rudder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's exciting.
I have no problem with this. I mean, is
Any
there,
comments about the signage?
Oh, man.
no?
I have a motion for certificate of review.
I'll make a motion to issue the
Is
certificate.
there a second?
I'll
It's my
second.
turn.
Excellent. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Are you short on the form? Is that what the problem is?
Yes.
We need a fourth body. If Danielle gets here, we'll
If not, we're gonna do it, we'll do
do it on the email, so
email.
you
Alright.
will get your certificate. It's just not as official as it
We
might
could
be.
swear you in, Sully, if you want.
All right.
Okay,
All right,
Then we gotta
and,
swear you out, though, too.
that's right.
I was gonna add a new business item. I had set it up and I'm repeating our February meeting of each year, so it's be our elections, but we don't have a quorum, and so doesn't say anywhere in our ordinance or bylaws that we have to do it in February. It's 1-year terms, and that's when we did it the past 2 years. Yeah, because I started in February, and then we did it our first month, so that I was here. But we can extend it for next month and try to get a quorum, and that way we can actually, you guys
If
can,
we do it for next month, and we'll tell them if they're not here, they'll get elected.
that's good.
There you go.
So,
Hey, how about that? That'll work.
I'll be here.
so we'll just schedule that as a new
Yes,
business item next.
as
Okay.
an item for next month. That's good. Okay. Okay, old business, International Shoe Factory. I noticed they were out taking pictures.
They were. We started getting some phone calls, so we put it up on Facebook, which I think got a lot of traction. So that was, we'll remember to do that anytime they're in town again. And then we started getting phone calls and saying, oh, I live close to there. People were more interested in kind of wanting to be in the district.
Yes.
So, that's just good. It's good exposure for the program and everything, so people understand what's going on. We still haven't heard on our Phase 3 grant that we submitted. I had an email from it's an advocacy group that works with the State Historic Preservation Office. They had rescheduled the debate and vote that was supposed to happen at the state level on funding last week to this Monday. So it happened yesterday. I have not heard today I don't even know if they ended up holding the vote. I know they were scheduled to debate, and it's to cut back the historic tax credit funding quite a bit, and as well as just their budget in entirety. So that's why they're holding off on awarding those grants. Honestly, typically, it probably doesn't help their situation. The grants for the surveys, the one that we utilize, is not very competitive, and that could be, it was always good for us because, we would typically, if we wanted the money to get a survey done, we would get the
Right.
money. But that's not good for the program because then they see that and it's one of the first ones to get cut then. So I haven't heard, I had a call in with the state today just for questions on our Phase 2. I wanted an update. I haven't heard back from them yet, so hopefully next month we'll at least get some type of schedule when they'll be announcing if they'll do the Phase 3 or not. If you remember, we ended up for Phase 2 changing that to a 50-50 grant instead of an 80-20, which I think may help us out. We could offer that up again for the last and final phase. I would assume council would, we have already spent the money on Phases 1 and 2. We may as well finish the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would even recommend, and we could always budget it for a future year, that if for some reason the grants aren't available, it's just hire landmarks to get get it done. And
Right.
we did scale back Phase 3. It was much bigger, and that was just because of when downtown was, before I got hired, downtown was our grant administrator for this. And, I don't blame them at all. They were utilizing an area that they knew that when houses were built as part of the International Shoe Factory District, when they would buy the land and then sell off the houses as part of their funding. And then they included a lot of properties that we knew were automatically not going to be qualifying for the historic district. And so we went through and took out anything we knew they would throw out, anything I think that was after 1970. Because, you can get stuff that's newer on the registry, but it has to follow the theme of the district. They
Right.
pick, they picked an architecture type and, a time frame and everything to get on the National Register as the International Shoe Factory District. And I know the Landmarks was already kind of hanging their hat on the fact that this area was developed in connection with the International Shoe Factory. It was more of how it was developed rather, because there was not any specific, style of house that was built because of this. They can't say it's an architectural review really that they're looking for certain styles because, they vary. But we cut back that Phase 3, so hopefully it'll be a little cheaper if we do have to fund it on our own.
Right.
So,
Well,
and we actually cut off. There was a lot in there that was already surveyed when we did the Stafford Olive District,
right.
and they may have recommended not putting in the Stafford Olive District, but it was already surveyed once, so we didn't need to pay someone to survey it again.
To redo
So we
it.
took out a lot of it on Stafford, and then a lot of it on Fish Street. That entire apartment complex down of Horn was all in there. We took that out. So hopefully that gets it a little cheaper for the last phase.
Yeah. That's good. I know grants across the board are slow these days.
Right.
Because a lot of times, it seems like the review process has altered to become more difficult. So this is not the only one that's in that situation. But that's good, we're moving ahead, at least on the Phase 2. I don't think we have anything on education tonight, if anybody has anything to throw in. Though I really appreciated Steve's comments about we need to have, maybe ask some pertinent questions to the people who are coming to be reviewed, to help them focus in on what we're looking for, because it's somewhat vague, kind of, somewhat.
I included a copy of the application.
I appreciate that.
If you guys want to look that over and make sure.
That was Steve's, so you might look at that, and then, that's your homework. Look at that and see if there's anything we need to add, not to make it more difficult, but to make it easier so that when we're in this process, the usual questions that come up might not be on the original form, but we can come up with something that gives them an idea of what we're looking for.
Yeah, you're right. I think we do need a checklist to attach to this. We actually have just started, for all our other applications, we created a checklist for all the subdivision stuff, and so we just need to throw this into the bunch
Excellent,
and do that.
excellent.
So that's
It would
that's
be-
not a problem.
You're already in the process of doing that, so.
But yeah, and give us, just email us your suggestions of what you all think should be
I
on the
think-
checklist. I mean, we're definitely gonna do the material, colors, pictures of before and after, or, existing, and then if you have
What
like
they
an
plan on.
example, a picture of proposed.
I think a lot of it's actually in the ordinance somewhere.
Yeah,
We could probably go through the ordinance and pull out, I think the requirements are in there, but if we could put it in a checklist that makes it easier for Jamie and
All
everybody
right,
else.
when you hand it out, they have something else to
Right.
look at.
Yeah, it's a good reminder for us, and also a lot of people come in looking for direction anyway, so then
Yeah.
it's, helpful for them.
Yes.
No, that's something we need to, everybody ought to look at it
I know,
periodically,
I
what
know,
we're reviewing,
I
why
know.
we're reviewing, or what we're supposed to be looking
Yeah,
at.
that
'cause
helps.
That's right.
It helps, yeah.
Well, and you go for years and not look at at least I go for years without looking at the ordinance to remind me what it is. Okay, that's education. Our curb appeal and creating history, we don't have anybody here to address that, but I know in the spring, that's usually when we really get cracking on the curb appeal, because when things are no longer pouring down rain or covered in snow. I don't think there's anything new on the Jasper.
On the curb appeal, did you ever get the sign back from Rich and Donna?
I've got to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not done that.
I know there's
I'm
been
guilty.
a lot going on
Well,
in
and
that area. I
That
don't know
street,
if it's still there.
twice I've looked to go down, and there've been things blocking the way, so I haven't forgotten.
Otherwise, if I
It's
see
just-
it, I'll grab it
Yeah, well,
sometime.
thank you. You don't want to keep it in your garage. It's better I keep it in my garage.
I got all kinds of signs in my garage.
All you need is one more.
Most of
Okay.
them say for sale, though.
Thank you. Oh, oh dear. Budget report. I don't think we've spent any money other than,
we did get a partial invoice in for the first phase of landmarks. It was for $6,000. So we'll update the spreadsheet and get that for you next month.
Excellent, excellent.
But that's the only thing we're planning on spending money on this year, since we upped it to 50%.
Right.
Instead of purchasing new plaques.
Right. And that's kind of good. that
Right.
We back off on that.
So, and then we're submitting our budget, all department heads submit their budget in May. So hopefully we'll know from the state what their funding's gonna look like before we submit that, because we need
Oh,
to
that's good.
request a little more.
You've got a little leeway before,
Right.
yeah, because you don't know what's going to be coming down the pike from state. So we really have nothing to worry about with informational plaques. I must admit, it's really nice, though, when you're downtown and you see those on a building. Makes you feel good. We have, that's a good thing we've done, that you see those.
Absolutely. We have a couple of pictures yet to take to this spring for things we didn't get to last year.
Did we ever get one on the chamber?
I don't think we ever got a picture. Is the plaque hung on the chamber? Does anybody know? Not yet?
No,
Look-
it was given to them, so.
Okay, so we have
Yep.
that one for the spring, the gallery next to, that used to be Raditech's office.
Haynes.
Oh.
Haynes.
Oh, yeah, Brian Haynes.
They have, the property owner has the one there as well. I don't know if that one's hung up either. So we'll have a couple to start with.
Which is good. We always like to get the PR
Yeah.
out there. As far as conferences, I have a question. I know I was out of town, but did anybody go to the CLG forum in Jeff City?
Not for the city.
Not from
I'm
here. I don't
sorry.
know if anybody else did.
I feel bad, because I've gone to that for years, and we are required, which I've mentioned before, unfortunately, members of this commission are required to take education of some sort once during the year, and that's a good way to do It's a certified local government forum, because that's where everything comes out of Jeff City, the SHPO office. And I feel bad, I kind of dropped the ball because I was gone. And, because I always went, and usually I drug people with me. Like Jill would go, and Sal's gone, poor Sal, he went and had to speak. And they told him like 2 days before, oh yeah, you got to present.
Yeah.
And you had just started
always
too.
fun.
Yeah.
It was early days. So I feel bad, we need to target that, and it was earlier this year than it's been in the past,
Yeah, normally it's in
in April.
April, yeah.
And they had it one year in February, and they had a blizzard or an ice storm, and so they canceled, and that's when they moved to April. So I was surprised they had gone back to February. But we really would like to see some, since you're the only two here, I'd really like to see, but anyway.
I've been once, but the National Main Street Conference should cover our
Yeah,
training
hopefully
opportunity, shouldn't it?
That should be.
Yes. Yep.
And that is the big conference coming up. It starts the 24th, I think,
26th through 28th.
26th through 28th. It's in Kansas City. National Convention. Washington is going to shine because even though we're too far away for tours, we're known nationally because we're a Great American Main Street winner. It's going to be great if you have an opportunity even to come over for one day. It's a fun conference. They've all drunk the Kool-Aid. They're all really gung-ho. This is a really driven, enthusiastic group who thrive on what can they do to save downtowns? How can they bring economic stability and all this?
Yep.
So if anyone has any interest in it, if you contact Bridget, she can get you. I don't know whether the early registration has ended, but
Yeah, it ended, I think, a
it
few weeks
probably
ago.
did, but
And
they.
ended in the volunteer, I think, there was a volunteer discount, I think that's over as well.
Is it over as well? But they can still get you a break. And as I said, you can do it one day. And the way Kansas City is, you can, take the train over, spend the night, and take the train back. I'm an Amtrak person.
When was that?
March
March 26th through 28th.
26th to 28th. And if you pull it up online, National Main Street Conference, and it's Kansas City, you can look and see if there's something on a day that has something that fits in. that
Yeah, you don't have
you'd
to
like
register
see.
for the entire thing. You
No,
can just
don't have to
register for what
for
you
the
want.
whole thing. And,
They have a schedule of what sessions or which days on that Main Street Now website. And then the big bash that is the.
yeah, that's at,
it's Wednesday night.
at Lee Summit. And it's great because we have some great Missouri main streets that will showcase. Now, Cape Girardeau and Washington are too far away, but Liberty, Lee Summit, Excelsior Springs, there's a lot around Kansas City that you can get if you're, that if you pick a day when there's a field trip, that's always fun to see what other people have done. Lee Summit, I'd only seen Lee Summit from the train, and it looked like Washington from the train, small town, nice train station. And I had no idea what a big community, huge, really. I mean, I don't remember what their population is, but it's big. And they're on major highways, they have a lot of retail. It was fun to see Lee Summit more than just what you see from the train. And then the Missouri Preservation Conference is in May.
I don't have dates on
I don't have dates on that, I can't remember, but I got the save the date postcard. And it's going to be in Sedalia, another place you can get to on the train. And those are always, that's another thing that would qualify for your education because it's preservation. And then the National Association of Historic Preservation Commissions is having their meeting in July in Des Moines. So that's not far. And I plan to go to that one because I have a brother that's into Des Moines. So he'll go do Des Moines thing. He went to Drake, and I get to go to meetings. So if anybody has any interest in that, you'll find it in your book, in one of those magazines. You can contact me and I can tell you about them. We have sent people to them before you went to Norfolk.
Yeah.
And
It was a good meeting.
they have a meeting every 2 years. And they have great field trips. I've been to Norfolk, and I went to Grand Rapids, and I think they had one in Philadelphia. But anyway, Des Moines is very convenient. It's not far. And also, if you're going somewhere in the summer, you want to go north. Norfolk was hot, very hot. And is there anything on the Calvin Theater?
We discussed it at our foundation meeting, but nothing new. I think there might be some new things next month. I'll let you know.
It's kind of hanging in there, literally.
I did see on Facebook where there's somebody who wants to find out who the owner was, they're interested in buying it.
I saw that, yeah. Stropcamp, right? Still owns it? Well, that's a thought. Is there any other business?
You know, Brent, that's an adjoining property to you.
Do I need to put a parking garage in instead, or maybe my garage should be a block?
There you go.
Oh, gee.
While you're at it, just keep going.
Yeah, right.
Underground, yeah.
That's right.
Your wife would kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other business? Okay, our meeting next month, we'll be back on Monday. We'll be off the Tuesday schedule because no holidays. So it'll be Monday, March 19th here. There's no further business. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion we adjourn.
Is
I'll
there a
second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Adjourned. Thank you very much for coming, both of you. Very much appreciated. Would you like your picture? These are really nice pictures.
Yeah, you want to back?
Yeah. She's got a set here, you can keep one set with the file.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, Brent, your house is
Doing
great.
a lot of inside work.
That whole area, so much nicer.
Well, combo.
Yeah, yeah.
That was next to me.
Yeah,
that
I was gonna say,
everything was right on his
pretty much
property.
ready for you when it's dry. Hopefully it's dry.
Stuff on his office house. I'm like, well, I'm like, I'll get you, because we had to remove 4 dead trees.